Britain, or are they loyal to Islam? And it's just because we've been speaking out against that it's raised this question. And if we say that there's no conflict between this, we often get put in a position where we do have to make a choice. And if we then say Islam, for whatever reason we say Islam, then we're deemed as being unloyal or extreme. And as a result of this, over a period of time, we've noticed that there's been an atmospheric change for us living within Britain. So now, if we build a mosque, just one mosque, if you want to build one mosque, then it creates an hysteria in the society that they want to take over Britain, they want to create a caliphate within Britain, and the like. And if the woman wears hijab, she's seen as being oppressed now. So I don't necessarily see that the problem should be us, and we should be asked, are you British or Muslim? I don't see that the problem lies within the Muslims. You mentioned at the end of your talk the Ethiopian king, and that he was a fair person. I think things aren't so fair for Muslims living in Britain anymore.
Sorry, say it again?
You mentioned at the end of your talk the Ethiopian king,
That's right.
that he was a fair person. But I sense that things aren't so fair for Muslims living in Britain anymore. And how is it that we can, what is it that we can do about this?
Sure. Thank you very much for that question, but I've already answered some part of it, but I would just comment on racism, and I understand that I just face the same thing sometimes, because, you know, every time I'm just select randomly, you know, I don't know why me, you know, and I don't wear what I'm wearing now, you know, I have just a long thing, and I have a shirt and pants, and I look like everybody else, you know, and why are you picking me all the time, just randomly, you know? Very clever. Anyway, I was asked by the intelligence, your questions, or some parts of it, about how can we solve the problems, because they have good interest in that, and that's why they kept me 3 hours, thank God, not more than that, after 27 hours flying, you know, you can imagine. And the answer was quite easy. One, it's not about a step from our side. I'm not trying to be very hard upon us as Muslims. I understand your point, and I appreciate it, and I'm just suffered like you, with my family and other people. But at the same time, I stressed our part, because this is what I have, what I can make a change. Okay, there is another step from the other. If the other doesn't move to make a change, then no change is going to take place. And problems are going to accumulate and even become even worse. So again, we need like a road, 2 traffic ways, you know, not only one traffic, just like a bridge. There is a gap, we make a bridge, we build it from both sides, not only from that side. So Muslims need to work towards this, and the other, I'm not saying the non-Muslim, whatsoever, the state, the people, media, work on the other side. And I've told the guy, why always when you in the media announce someone, this person is a Muslim, he is a Muslim, he tried to do this and he is a Muslim. Okay, we know now. Why doing this? So it's quite annoying. And I know that he himself only cannot make any change. But the question is that why, when we have militant and tourists from Ireland, belong to different sects of Christianity, they won't be called Christian tourists. We have only Islamic terrorism, you know. When you open up the Voice of America, you find this guy, you know, talking always about Islamic terrorism, as we don't have anything else. It's about a way to just make the Muslim very ugly. It's not stereotype, this is a reality, right? And we understand the challenges we are facing. But we need to be acting like the Muslims in Ethiopia at the same time. We need to respect the place we are in. Yes, it became ours. I understand that. I'm not challenging this at all. You are British. But we need to respect that place protected, you know, by our words and action like Muslims done. And follow their word with the king of Ethiopia, Habasha, at that time as well. You know, because they were not allowed to violate laws as well. Right? And when I came here, I got a visa or that stamp in the airport. That means I'm going to respect that country and its law. And vice versa. When those people come to my country, they are supposed to be stamped by the law. So now, it's it's their call, but let us do ours, all right? Because we'll be set accountable before God, and we'll be asked, and they are going to be accountable, whether they believe in Him or not. You know, you will be called upon in the day of judgment. Chris, then Chris, stand up. We have millions of Chris, but you know when the name Chris is called upon, Chris stand up. The angel take him for accountability. No translator between him and God, whatever language he speaks, right? And then he would be asked, why did you do this? Right? Muhammad and Abdullah will be called upon, and Fatima will be called. We have millions of Fatima, but when the name is called, you know that it's you, nobody else. Stand up, go for accountability. So my point is that let's do our part, and if they listen to us, if they understand what is the problem, if you'd like to just stop the problem from growing, because it's a big problem that you're telling the people, you are not British, you know. We don't believe that you are British. What do you want me to give you evidence to show that I'm British? I speak your accent. I'm not talking about myself. Right? And I dress like you dress. I do mostly what you're doing. I'm not, might not be drinking or mixing in a club, but apart from this, I'm just like you. So what do you want me to do to prove that I am British? You know? Or I told the guy as well, imagine your son is called names because his name is Osama, you know, at the school, and he had to change his name from Osama to somebody else. This is the social pressure build up problems, you know. I don't know if the government here is not aware of this, who's going to be aware? I have no idea, you know. So it's their call. About the hijab and this challenge, I find it very, very difficult, especially in the Western, area or here in Europe, because people are used to nuns. What is the big difference between Mary, the Virgin, and the photo, and any other Muslim lady? What is the difference in the way she dresses? So what kind of oppression we're talking about? You know, if my daughter is not believing that the hijab is a must upon her by God, and I force her, she might do this for some years, but after I die, I guarantee you, she will take it off. That's why I don't force my kids to do it. You love it? You know, this is what God tells you. This is your mom. Look at her. Since she's a baby, she sees her mom wearing the hijab and praying, and she's doing the same thing. And in Ramadan, we have the rituals. We just eating dates, drinking soup, and so on. So it just became part of her life, and she misses Ramadan. Again, I find it a bit difficult to understand, but I understand why we are, discriminated against. But again, not everybody will discriminate against us. We have many people in our side, and they respect being a human regardless whatever you believe in. Thank you very much.
So can I just make a little point based on what you said? It'll be small, so everybody else will have time to answer.
Yes.
It'll be very small.
Okay.
I agree with the point that you raised, and I want to use the definition of what terrorism is. That the United Nations, it defines terrorism as the use of violence to achieve political aims. Now, if I was to say that, based on Tony Blair's statement, that the world is a better place because we got rid of Saddam Hussein, it probably is a better place for the people of Iraq to some extent. You can say it probably isn't. But then that would mean that Britain's action would be terrorist action. But if I was to say this statement, then I would be perceived as being unloyal. This is the kind of problem that I have, that just making certain statements creates a certain hysteria around us. And I think this is the kind of thing that you've alluded to, that we need to do our part. And
that's right. This is my part. That's right. But I work with those who believe in the same beliefs, stand with you. You know, I said we will have British people who are not Muslims, even atheists. You know, socialists, communists, but believe in the same issue you believe in, certain issue. Let's try to be positive as much as we could. And we will die, and then just there is a